All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So guys, things have got worse, unfortunately, and this video, although it's kind of a very boring topic, it is so important for anyone that is considering starting an Amazon FBA business at the moment, or even if you're an existing seller and aren't keeping full tabs on what has been going on. So what I'm talking about is the current shipping rates, because it is a big issue for sellers, new sellers and existing sellers. Now, just very briefly before I get onto that, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has supported the channel over the past couple of years. And also for those of you that signed up for the course that we released a couple of weeks ago, we're already into double figures. So thank you for everyone that's shown support for the course and placing your faith in me and the course. But let's jump into this week's video. So, I mean, the headline there says it all really. Shipping container rates top $10,000 from Asia to Europe. So if we scroll down a little bit and we just focus on the bits that are the most important. So here we go. The Drewry World Container Index released Thursday showed the rate for a 40-foot container from Shanghai to Rotterdam rose to over $10,000, so up 3.1% from a week ago, and a jump of 485% from a year ago. Now, the composite index, which is the average of 8 different major shipping routes, that rose 2% as well to $6,257, which is 293% higher than a year ago. And this graph, I mean, this just highlights what's happened with shipping rates as we've gone towards the end of 2020, kind of December onwards, we've stepped into January and things just got crazy. Now, I think I mentioned shipping costs towards the start of 2021, and we were being not assured, but informed by our freight forwarders and suppliers that they were expecting shipping costs to start reducing after Chinese New Year back in February. But that hasn't happened. Now, we did have issues, obviously, with the blockage in the Suez Canal, which pretty much everyone is aware of because it was on mainstream news, and that did contribute. But there are many additional reasons for these price increases, and I'm not going to go into it in this video, as from a seller perspective, all of those causes actually don't matter. All that matters to us is that shipping costs have gone up massively and we've got to find a way to deal with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through 3 of my most recent shipments to give you an idea of how this has impacted me and to give you an idea to what to expect if you start importing products at the moment. So let me just bring up an Excel document that I put together especially for this video. So here we go, got Excel ready to go. So I had a shipment in September 2020 when things were still relatively normal, well, at least from an import perspective. And you can see here I was importing, I think this was for around 1,500 units for a couple of my products. So we had CBM, which is cubic meterage. So we had around 10 cubic meters of product with an overall weight of 2,285 kilogram. And the total cost of that import was only £685, which was in keeping with what I've been paying over the past couple of years for that type of import. So to make things easier for you guys to understand, I've kind of put a CBM cost and a per kilogram cost. So if you take the total cost of 685, that's approximately £67.49 per cubic meter, or around 30p per kilogram. So more than manageable and shouldn't have a major impact for anyone that was starting an Amazon business at the time. However, things started to go wrong as we moved into 2021. So this is my first shipment this year. In January 2021, this was a slightly bigger shipment. That's why I've brought in these costs here to kind of compare them on a like-for-like basis. So this was 14 cubic meters. This was closer to 3 ton, and the cost for that was £3,242, which was sky high at the time. And it meant I had to increase the unit cost of my products by at least £2 each just to break even on those additional costs. And you can see here the cubic meterage cost has jumped up from £67 to £231, which is a 243% increase versus September shipment. And the cost per kilogram has jumped from 30p to £1.08, and that's a 260% increase. Now at this time I was thinking, okay, let's just get through the next few months. We can take the hit on this, we'll increase the prices a bit. If sales slow down a bit, it's not the end of the world. And we were all expecting things to start improving. However, obviously the Suez Canal blockage happened and things have just continued to get worse. So what I'm going to show you now is my most recent quote. So this is from yesterday, which is June the 3rd, 2021. And this is for my next shipment, which will be ready next week. And you can see here, again, the shipment is slightly larger, so another cubic meter or so and a bit more weight. But the cost again has jumped up another £1,000 And you can see the increase from September is now over 300%, which is in keeping with the composite index that we were just talking about on the Bloomberg website. So if you're in the process of starting an Amazon FBA business at the moment, you need to pay close attention to the types of products you're looking at. Look at how big those products are, look at the dimensions, and look at the weight, because you need to see how much it's going to cost you from a shipping perspective. Don't go into this blind and just hope that your profits are going to stack up, because I've been mentoring people over the past few months, and they had to stop looking at products that they were seriously considering because these shipping costs were making those products unviable. So you need to be aware of this, because let's say, for example, this most recent shipment here, it's going to cost me just over £4,200. Now, I think there are going to be 2,200 units on that shipment. So if we say roughly around £2, I think it's a bit less than £2, but if we say £2 per unit, let me just bring up the calculator and we can run some figures to give you guys an idea of what we might be looking at. So based on that, it's around £2 per product, but you've also got to take into account you'll be paying customs duty on this shipping charge as well. So as well as paying customs duty on the total goods value, you're also paying customs duty on the shipping as well. So for example, on these products, it's going to be 5%. So if we're at 4268 and we're going to put on another 5%, then straight away that's a couple £100 on top. And then for those of you that have just started your business, you won't be VAT registered. It's very unlikely you'll be VAT registered. I thankfully can claim it back, but let's put on another 1.2, so it's another 20% on top of that. So all of a sudden, that's £5,377 just on import cost. Now, I'm not saying you guys are going to be importing this many units for your first product, but let's say you were importing 500 products and it might cost you £1,000 to £2,000. If that was the case, some people don't have that money. That might be the overall budget for FBA, let alone for shipping costs. So it's so important that you're aware of your shipping costs, how that's going to impact your profit margins, and also whether you actually have the cash flow in the first place to be able to afford to import these products and then try and make some money from selling them on Amazon. So what can you actually do about this? Well, I mean, from a cost perspective, there isn't a huge amount. The shipping costs are going to be the shipping costs. You can shop around. I mean, some people are finding at the moment that Amazon's own freight forwarding services, which is Amazon Global Logistics, is slightly cheaper. But I've just had someone that I mentored sign up for that, and then we're told they have no shipments available in June. So there's different options there you can look into, but most freight forwarders are going to be around the same sort of price. There will be some suppliers and some dodgy Chinese importers misdeclaring values to try to bring down shipping costs. I would stay well away from that. But the key thing is you're aware. Awareness is the biggest tool that you've got in this fight. Be aware of what your profit margins are. Be aware of what the potential import costs will be. One of the things that I've started using is cbmcalculator.com. This is really good for just quickly running through some products that you found to get an idea of what things might cost. So based on what you just saw on the spreadsheet, my products were costing me, let me just bring it back up so you guys can see as well. So if we take the most recent estimate as an example, so this one here, we're paying $275 per CBM. Now, in my experience, CBM seems to be the more important thing than weight. So let's use this as a guide. So if you guys use this figure for now, and you can use it to get a quick idea before you start contacting freight forwarders for more accurate quotes. But let's go over to cbmcalculator.com. We'll bring up the calculator, go to the website. We run some example figures to show you how this could potentially work. So let's say you found a product you like the look of, and when packaged up, the individual product size is going to be 40 centimeters long, 30 centimeters wide, and maybe 20 centimeters tall, and the gross weight 1.2 kilograms, for example. Also enter the quantity. So if you're a new seller, potentially you might be importing, let's say 300 units you're going to be importing, which gives you cubic meterage of 7.2. So if we do 275 times by 7.2, potentially you could be paying close to £2,000. And that is a very, very rough way of doing things. And the cubic meterage versus weight isn't always an exact ratio, so your shipping costs will vary. But it's certainly a way of getting a very quick idea at the moment, and also ensuring that you don't commit to a product where the profit margins just aren't going to stack up because of shipping costs are so high. So I hope you guys have found that useful, something that you need to be aware of either as a new seller or an existing seller. If you want to have a chat with other people about import costs at the moment, make sure you sign up with the FBA Elite forums. They are completely free. We've got over 3,000 members on here discussing all areas of Amazon FBA on the various forums that we've got. We've also got the resource section, which has lots of exclusive resources such as profit calculators, which could be extremely useful at the moment, as well as discounts on there for things such as Helium 10. And we've also got the brand new course link for the course we launched a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't looked at the course yet, I'd strongly recommend checking it out. But like I say, if you're not already a member, sign up. It's completely free. I'm on there most days, and I'll see you guys on the forums.